Hi, I'm Todd Nauck. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So now we're up to part 3 of the Spawn commission, doing the Copic marker colors. One note before we get into the video, into the color art here. My camera was running out of charge. I got the notification, so I plugged it into charge while I was filming, and I accidentally stopped recording. So there's a portion of coloring this Spawn that got missed. I will address that when we get to that point, but I just want to give y'all a heads up as we head into this. I was really disappointed. I thought of maybe just scrapping the video, but I thought no, most of it got recorded, so we'll show you that and I'll explain the part that didn't get recorded. It's not that big of a part, but I just want to let y'all know here at the top of this video. So let's just get right into the color. Alright, so we're using Copic Sketch markers, starting with the R27 here. Now what I love about Copic Sketch markers is the brush tip. The brush tip really allows me to kind of sculpt the color. The more you press down, the thicker the line, the less you press down, the thinner the line. So it really kind of, that allows you to add some line weight, and the brush tip really does a great job of when you want to blend the colors together, which we'll see coming up later on after I start getting the base colors in. So using this R27 for my base red, I'm cutting in all the different folds here on Spawn's cape, on his gauntlets, all the red parts. I want to keep in mind where the light source is, which I established in the inking stage, which is pretty much straight from above, maybe a little bit to the left. So I'm leaving chunks of his cape and his gauntlets and other red aspects of his costume. I'm leaving parts of that open with white. I'm almost coloring half, or just a bit more than half, of Spawn's cape and costume with red here. The reasoning is I want to come in with lighter shades to kind of create a gradation of where the red goes to highlight. Now what I like to do, and I learned this trick from Marvel colorist Edgar Delgado, seeing some of his color commissions that he would do over Humberto Ramos's convention commissions. Thought they were so cool, and I noticed that Edgar used reds to create a gradation, or he used oranges, he used oranges to create a gradation from the red to the highlight. And I thought that really gave a really vibrant and warm and energetic look to it. I really liked the warmth that it gave. So it's not that I used orange for every character, but I do use it for a lot. Like I'm using it here for Spawn, I use it for Spider-Man for sure, Deadpool. So it depends on the character's personality or the kind of vibrancy I want, and sometimes the lighting as well. I'll use orange. Maybe sometimes I'll use pink or lighter shades of red, but in this regard, I wanted it to have that real fiery sort of look. So these different shades of oranges. I'm overlapping the red with that orange because I want it to all blend through. I really like a lot of saturation because it blends the colors real nicely. And then I come in with the R24 to kind of blend the R27 into those oranges to really kind of bring home more of the red so it doesn't look like an orange costume, but it's red translating into the orange. And coming in with a little darker red here for some of the little shadow areas. I keep in mind the folds of the cape and where would shadows fall if the cape is overlapping certain parts, like here this big part where the cape goes behind Spawn. That's going to be behind him, so he'll be casting a shadow into the inner parts of his cape. Opposite sides of the gauntlet there. So I just coming in and just cutting these shapes in with the brush tip, always keeping in mind the light source, and the darker colors are going to go on the opposite side of whatever the light is hitting. Alright, so adding some metal shine and texture to his belts, chains, spikes, skulls. I want a silvery look, so I use shades of light blue, which I'll then go over with shades of light gray, light cool gray. Again, keeping in mind the light source and where the shadows might fall. Same thought process was with the cape. And now I'm going to start here on the white parts of his costume, a different shade of bluish green so that it looks different than his skulls. Alright, so this is where the camera stopped recording, and I wasn't aware of it, and I missed adding all the neutral grays to the black parts of Spawn's costume here. So if you want to know how I approached that and which grays I used, we have an easy fix here. You'll want to go to my Spider-Man Venom YouTube live video number 003. I'll have a link to that video at the end of this video, so you can just click that link, go right to timestamp 15 minutes and 40 seconds in. That's when around the time where I start coloring Venom and adding the neutral grays to his costume. So how I colored Venom and all those neutral grays I used is the exact same approach that I used for coloring Spawn. So you can kind of see what you kind of missed through that video. You'll get that same process and procedure. So now that we have that kind of patch to this video, we'll just jump right back into Spawn here and see how this one finishes up. So with the mask, I'm just finishing off what I was doing with the body portion of his costume. This light bluish green with gray over it kind of gives it a bit more of a dirtier sort of white that would stand against his silvery spikes and chains. And now for the energy coming out of his eyes, this is why I used the green ink for the inked lines to give it that kind of knocked back energy effect like you see in comics where the line art is a different color. That was the reasoning for me to do that here with the energy coming out of his eyes, so it looked more ethereal, and just layering different shades of green to get that energy look. And now coming in with some cool grays. Now cool grays, this is really fun to use these to drop in the shadow. In the past I used to say warm grays for warm colors, cool grays for cool colors, and it's still a fun rule of thumb to use sometimes. But what I have found, I've mentioned this in another video, I'll say it here again. My friend Ahmed Al-Duri has an awesome channel here. Be sure to check out his channel, Ahmed Al-Duri. I learned from him, use cool grays over your warm tones because it creates a more realistic shadow tone. So that's why I use cool grays now. And I really like how it really creates more sense of a reality with the character that I'm coloring. Now time for a background. So I'm just using a darker sort of bluish green and coming over that with a lighter shade of bluish green, the same one that I used for the white part of his costume and his mask, to just kind of bring it all together, just blend it all together and give him a little bit of a backdrop so he pops. So that's pretty much it. This one's done. Thanks for joining me for this 3-part series, and I hope to do more 3-parters in the future. Thanks for all the support. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out some more of my art vids. And here's that Spider-Man Venom YouTube live vid so you can see how I did the neutral grays. Timestamp 15 minutes 40 seconds in. Hope you're all doing well. Keep on drawing and keep having fun.